Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, why many younger Americans say they're feeling disillusioned and politically homeless. Also tonight, working to keep seniors cool and safe this summer, and a local author brings Victorian London to life with her new novel. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
For over 65 years, AARP has empowered people to choose how they live as they age. As a wise friend and fierce defender, we advocate for better health, financial security, and stronger communities. We are AARP.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Christina Estes, filling in for Ted Simons. A new poll finds just 13% of young Americans think the country is headed in the right direction, and half believe they have no say in what government does. It's a sentiment that crosses party lines. Joining me to talk about engaging younger people is Brent Whiting. He's co-founder and vice president of Tomorrow We Vote. Brent, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Christina.
That poll is from the Harvard Kennedy School, and it's really sobering reading. I would think for people like you involved in civic engagement, about half of young Americans say they really feel pointless, I guess, when it comes to government. Is that what you're seeing and hearing?
Absolutely. What we do is we go inside of classrooms and we discuss politics with young people in order to get them to register to vote for their power. And we hear that from them all the time. It's either half this or half that. But what's funny is many of them will register as independents because they feel disenfranchised from the left and the right wings of the government. So that poll is absolutely correct in what we see here in Arizona and abroad.
That poll from the Harvard School finds about half of them say that inflation is impacting them a lot. They don't feel financially secure. So how do you talk to younger people who are focused on paying the rent or buying groceries or getting gas in the car about how to invest or why they should invest their time and energy to register to vote?
It's perfect. We try to make sure that they see what the future is, what can come out of it. We find that many of the young people feel that older generations don't listen to them, they speak to them. So we, as Gen Xers ourselves, my wife and myself as co-founders, when we discuss this with young people, we give them an ear to listen to them. And when they do, they respond. And we give advice also to other groups, other organizations, other people who are running, to just listen to what young people are saying. So once they do that and they have a conversation going back and forth with them, now there's a rapport. And young people will respond to that rapport. So all we do is we speak to them in that manner as if they are adults, which most of them are running into, and they wind up registering to vote just based on that, just on the conversation of us listening to them.
In 2024, a significant percentage of young men swung toward Trump, and a variety of recent polls show that some of them are sort of expressing buyer's remorse, but they're also not moving to the Democrats. So the Harvard poll found that really younger people have really low approval ratings for both parties. Does that make it more difficult for you in your line of work, or is that kind of a good thing for you?
What we do is, since we're a nonpartisan organization, we speak to them in a nonpartisan way. So we don't even speak party. We speak to the issues that affect them. And so that's how we get them to even register to vote or become civically engaged. So we discuss about LGBT issues, we speak about the climate, we speak about what they can do by using their one vote in a collective to not even just register or to vote for themselves, but to vote for people that they love. Once they do that, they get a whole new perspective on what it is they're looking for inside of their future, and they vote accordingly. And that's pretty much what their power does.
You work a lot in the digital space, social media, online outreach. You're talking to a generation that has been born and raised online, but it's also the same environment that creates a lot of divisiveness, turns a lot of people off when it comes to politics. So how do you cut through the noise and use that digital space to engage young people?
We make sure that we tag the right people, we tag the right organizations, and we share out. All young people are looking for is information. They're looking for the truth. So we whittle out Anybody who listens to talking heads, we listen out any of the news that we know is lying, and we only speak out into the truth. So what we put even on our own Instagrams or our Facebooks or whatever it is that the young people are doing nowadays, even TikTok, is we put out correct information. And people say, oh, it's not correct, but we use data to back up everything that we state. And that's what they wind up looking at. And it's a much easier push to educate them than to tell them.
Why is it so important to engage young voters? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but...
Because this generation now, between 18 and 29, even in the last generation, which is the largest one, is Gen Z, they are the largest demographic right now in generation. So their vote and knowing what their vote means, even just as a commodity in the government. So, for instance, they are being used for taxes, or whenever they get a job, we take taxes out, Social Security, whatever. We tell them that if money's being spent on you or money's being taken out from you, that means you are a part of this whole collective in the government. That's where your power is. So it's very important for them to vote, because once they remove themselves out of the system, they'll find out that the system will still work for or against them regardless. So you might as well be a part of that.
And if you don't vote, you can't really complain. That's what I always say.
100%. We always say the same thing. It's like, whenever you wind up running out and seeing maybe somebody who you've elected or voted for, you have way more of a voice of yelling at that person than not.
If for no other reason to be able to yell.
Exactly.
Brent Whiting, co-founder and vice president of Tomorrow We Vote. Thank you so much for your time and insight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Join us for a behind-the-scenes look at The American Revolution, a film by Ken Burns, Sarah Botstein, and David Schmidt. We'll go behind the scenes with the filmmakers, historians, writers, and musicians to understand how they crafted the landmark 12-hour series that explores our nation's war for independence as never before in The Making of the American Revolution.
Tuesday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
The women of World War II secured the beaches of Normandy for D-Day. They reported from the front lines. They harnessed the power of the atom. They spearheaded the resistance and top-secret spy missions. We dig deeper into the archives with rediscovered interviews, new reflections, and never-before-seen footage. Experience it all in Women of World War II, More Untold Stories.
Tuesday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
So where's the body?
The most dreadful thing has happened.
Well, I've got a hunch.
What's that?
It looks like some sort of code.
He's hiding something. Then we keep digging.
Okay, let's go.
So, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
It should stimulate all your senses.
Maricopa County recorded more than 400 heat-related deaths last year, and more than 100 took place indoors. For older adults, the heat can be especially dangerous. Tonight, as part of our monthly AARP-sponsored segment highlighting issues important to older adults in Arizona, we welcome Philip Sharp. He's CEO of Tempe Community Action Agency. Philip, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the big picture, because I think when people often hear heat-related deaths, they think somebody's outdoors.
Definitely.
So what's going on with the deaths that are happening indoors?
Sure.
And why are older folks more at risk?
Yeah, so a couple of factors that really lead to what we absolutely see as kind of a weird phenomenon, which is people dying in air conditioning. And basically, it's a lot of low-income, fixed-income seniors that are running evaporative coolers instead of forced air. And so a lot of times we have the luxury in our air-conditioned home to run forced air, meaning you can get it down to a nice 78 degrees. But in an evaporative cooler scenario, sometimes you can only bring your indoor temperature down into the 90s. And so somebody that might already have comorbidities and other things because they're seniors have a real large exacerbative effect by being inside their homes and that daytime temperature being in the 90s. So they never get a real reprieve from the heat, even though they're technically in air conditioning.
And how is Tempe Community Action Agency addressing the heat issue with seniors?
Absolutely. So we work with the city of Tempe and a lot of other faith-based partners, as well as our own facilities, to give people the opportunity to have cooling centers. And so what that does is that fixed income senior that's normally choosing between running their AC at home or maybe giving up on another cost, can come to one of our facilities, spend all day in air conditioning, shut off that air conditioning at home, so that saves money. And then when they get home and the sun's already gone down, they can afford that run that AC, get their home to a cool enough temperature, they can sleep well, and then the next day come back to one of those facilities, which also contains their costs throughout the year, but also gives them access to forced air and better climate-controlled facilities.
Can you walk us through what actually happens when a volunteer or community worker knocks on somebody's door? What's a home visit look like?
Yeah, so we have a lot of community health workers and an entire program called Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and that's what that program does. We reach out to our community that we serve and make sure that those seniors and those fixed income individuals have the basic needs they have or need to get to the next day. So we'll make a phone call to somebody and simply say, we're calling from the Community Action Agency, really looking to see, do you have all the things you need? Is your AC working? Do you know how to get it turned on? Do you have access to utilities and rent assistance? And then we find out what those people's needs are, and we get them associated to the next best service that's available, whether that's within the TCAA community or we're working with partners or the city to get them referred to a place that can support those needs at that time.
So if you talk to someone or you're visiting with someone and their AC is not working, what happens?
Absolutely. So we do a couple of things. First off, we look to see if we can't afford to help them fix that AC. So we have a lot of money that we call homeless prevention, which we spend to keep people in their houses. So if the AC is the thing that's going to keep you in your house, we may be able to help work with you to fix that AC. If we're not able to do so, then we're going to work with our partners to see if there's somebody else that can offer that service for you. And in the meantime, we're going to get you connected to either a cooling service or a heat relief site so that we can help you get transported to those places so that as your home is going under those repairs, you still have access to, again, that cool space. Health and safety is paramount in our space.
The cooling centers in Tempe, where are they located?
Yeah, so this year we've got a great new one at the Tempe Library that's opening. We also have one at the Church of the Epiphany. We have a lot of different hydration stations all throughout. United Presbyterian Church in Tempe is also opening this summer. So we have a couple of great locations in the North Tempe area where people can access that cool zone all throughout the day. Also has access to hydration, restrooms, all of the things.
How do you know those cooling centers are making a difference?
So we've seen the data over the years, and thankfully we've actually seen a decrease in those heat-related deaths and those that are dying within their homes. And so, if we look at data as the congratulations, we're seeing at least things trending in the right direction. Certainly having over 400 people die due to heat is 400 more than we would ever want, but that number thankfully has come down from well over 500 a couple of years ago. And so we've seen things like these cooling centers and hydration stations have a direct and immediate impact on those community members.
For our audience or anybody who maybe has an older parent or relative or friend or neighbor maybe that they don't see very often, what's something that they should be thinking of and doing over the summer?
I mean, first comes, checking to make sure that they're turning their AC on. Some of those individuals that passed away last year were passing away because their AC wasn't even turned on. And so if you have a loved one in town, check on them. We have a Meals on Wheels program, and we can tell you that almost every day of the week, we're the only person talking to your loved ones when we deliver that meal. So check in on your loved ones, make sure that they are turning their AC on, making sure it works. And then if not, make sure that they know the resources around them. Tempe Community Action Agency exists in every community. So if you're in Surprise, something exists there. If you're in Buckeye, something exists there. So you can always go to tempeaction.org, and we're happy to get you connected to the right resource. But there are resources throughout the entire valley to help everybody's loved one in their time of need.
TempeAction.org. You beat me to it, Philip. I was going to ask you. Philip Scharf is CEO at Tempe Community Action Agency. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best wishes this summer.
Absolutely. Let's stay cool out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A new book is out on a thieving all-female gang and a young woman's plan to escape a life of crime. An Artful Dodge is a new crime fiction novel by a local author that takes us to Victorian London. Author Karen Oden joins us to discuss her newest book, An Artful Dodge. Thanks for being here, Karen.
Thank you, Christina.
Hey, let's start with an elevator pitch. Give me a brief overview of An Artful Dodge.
All right. It is 1879 London, and Kit Jimison, age 20, is the best thief in the thieving gang that operates out of Elephant and Castle in Southwark. And she's thinking about getting out of the gang until Maggie Worth O'Connell shows up. Now, Maggie Worth was a beautiful thief who 20 years ago got caught thieving and sent to a penal colony in New South Wales, what we would call Australia. She's back, she's angry, and she has a heist that she wants Kit to do that is nearly impossible.
Nearly.
Nearly.
That sounds suspenseful. Now, you've said that the thieving ring was actually based on a real all-female gang.
Yes.
How did you find that? And when you found it, were you just like, I have to learn more? Or were you like, oh my gosh, I'm totally going to write about this?
Both, yes. This is a great question. It's a fun moment because my daughter Julia was over in England for a semester abroad. She's doing her study. And so we decided that in December, after she was finished, I would go over and we'd spend, a week doing mother-daughter, bopping around London kind of things. And one of the last nights that we were there in London, it was a dark and stormy night, raining, the umbrellas were all turned inside out, and we ducked into the Great Scotland Yard Hotel. Now, this hotel is actually situated on the old cobbled yard behind Fort Whitehall Place, which used to hold the Scotland Yard Division. And Marriott built this huge Victorian theme hotel. Anybody can stay there. I think it was 2019 they built it. So it's very new, very nice. But we walk in, with our sad umbrellas and we drop them on the floor. And the foyer had all of these glass cases of Victorian crime memorabilia. I mean,
oh my gosh, you, a crime fiction author, went crazy.
I know. It was, mugshots and knives and police truncheons and whistles. And there's a pair of bloody boots that somebody ran off in. I mean, so yeah, be still my nerdy heart. And so after that, we went over to the restaurant because we were hungry. And they said, we're so sorry, we're full up, but you can go to the bar across the hall. And it's called the 40 Elephants. You can get a drink and a snack. And I thought, 40 Elephants? It's kind of a, I don't know, it was an odd name, right? But I thought, well, it's Victorian. It probably has something to do with the British Empire because, of course, they were active in India and Africa, And I thought, well, maybe it has to do with that. And I walked in, and there's all of these pictures of beautiful women. And I thought, this is odd. And there was a QR code on the table, and I'm like Pavlov's dog with these things, right? I click. And sure enough, it tells the whole story about the 40 Elephants, who in their heyday, sort of 1920s, 1930s, were these beautiful flapper girls, but who had their roots in 1870s in Elephant and Castle. And I looked up, and my daughter was looking at me. Julia's very, insightful, and she looks up and she says, "You're thinking a book, right?" And I said, "Yes, I am."
Well, in your new book, you're writing about an all-female criminal enterprise at a time when women had really no legal power or financial independence. So how does that play into the plot and your characters' lives?
Well, you're very right that most women had no legal standing. If you were married, you were covered by your husband. That is, everything you owned and everything you did basically was owned by him. But for young women who were orphans and poor, and not married, they actually had a lot of agency. They could run around and do all kinds of things. And so this thieving ring in Elephant and Castle offered a certain amount of protection. There were about 20 of the women, and there was a leader, Amelia Lyle in my book, and they would go out thieving at the new department stores because that was sort of their province. The thieving happened. They worked in teams of two. They would practice their dodges, and they had all these little skits and schemes that they would run. And they had thieving pockets that ran all the way down to their crinolines, to the hemline, which is where they could tuck all the things that they were stealing. They had hair nets that they would tuck jewelry into. That kind
I
of
feel
thing.
like I need to check for my wallet talking
Yes,
to Karen.
yeah. Well, just be careful as you're walking out tonight. Like, but anyway, so these women had a certain amount of agency and power, and they were loyal to each other. And that was one of the things, when I first started writing the book, I realized I wanted to write about women and relationships and loyalty. Loyalty between sisters, among thieves, between friends, how it's different in different cases. So while it is a mystery, it is a heist novel, sort of the emotional arc of it is all about women and friendships.
We've got less than 30 seconds,
Okay.
and I know you're going to be able to talk about this a lot more tomorrow night. You're going to be at the Poison Pen in Scottsdale at 7 p.m. What can people expect?
At the Poison Pen, I think it's going to be a really fun evening. I'm going to be talking to Barbara Peters, who's the owner of the Poison Pen, and little does she know that I have named one of my thieves for her. Don't tell her, not till tomorrow.
That's brilliant. I love it. I can't wait till she finds out.
Yeah.
Poison Pen tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Yes.
Karen Oden, author of An Artful Dodge. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
in. And thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Estes, in for Ted Simons. Have a great night.
Hello, I'm Alice Ferris, and we hope you enjoyed Arizona Horizon. For more than 40 years, viewers in Arizona have relied on Ted Simons and Arizona Horizon for in-depth coverage of issues of concern to our community. As you are probably aware,